Well, it may be full dark before I actually have this running, but I will get it running. I kind of went for the first area you would suspect, which is the fuel tank pickup being clogged. But here's the valve, and when you open it, nothing happens. When you open it, gas comes out. So I know I'm getting gas to the valve that separates, but I also pulled the hose off over there on that end, and I had fuel there. And then I came over here under the hood and I pulled the fuel filter that's under here off, and I had gas coming. Actually, well, there's the carburetor, there's the fuel line that goes into the carburetor, and then this guy, well, he goes right here, and then he attaches right there. So I've got fuel all the way up to here, which makes me suspect, been a while since that's been off, but there's another fuel filter in there. That's where the fuel inlet goes into the top of the carburetor, and on this particular type of carburetor, there is a fuel filter in there. So we'll pull that out and see what it looks like. If it's crusty, we'll clean it, and I may be driving this around the farm tonight. And it will be dark, but that's okay because I got headlights. I think I may have found out what was wrong with our 55 GMC and why its 327 wasn't running. Believe it or not, I think that was the problem right there. If your truck has those on it, on the fuel system, throw them away. No, I guess there's some people that like the factory correct clamps. I like these ones you can screw tight, because I think I was getting air in there. Also, I did take this filter out of right here, and it looked pretty clean to me, but I don't think it had been getting any gas for a while. Maybe, maybe not. Also, a good move for one of these trucks been sitting a long time is to tap on the, don't beat the heck out of the carburetor. Give it a few taps though, because sometimes that needle and seat gets stuck in there, and that can help. I've already primed the carb. So I'm going to get optimistic and put this air cleaner back on, because I've been working around this carburetor and I know I've loosened up a lot of debris. You know, that's going to be fun to get in there. Anyway, I've loosened up a... Hang on a sec. Anyway, I've loosened up a lot of debris working on the carburetor. See that? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. And I don't want to run the engine and have all that dirt and 10-year-old dust. 5, 10, or 15-year-old dust. We don't know for sure which it is, but we know it's been a while. Don't want that flying around and getting into your carburetor. And I could see daylight through the air filter, so I'm comfortable with running it. Let me see what keeps some of that gunk out of there. Alright, so anyway, like I said, if you got those on your truck, get rid of them, because they worked good when they were new, but that's just metal that's been bent to make a spring, and metal gets old and tired. So everything's buttoned back up. Let's see if it's ready for a drive around the farm. I think it will be. Because I've started it a few times trying to get fuel to it, but I don't see any smoking going on back here. That's a good sign. Old Chevy 327's pretty good motors. So, it's Sunday night. Jamie and I left yesterday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, to go down and get this thing from Etna, California. Guy said it had been sitting at least 5 years that he knew of, which isn't long compared to some of them that we've got running out here, but it's good to have them running, because that lets me know that this isn't a truck that'll be taken apart. This is not a parts truck. It does need some help. It's old, but it's earned its right to live. And before I go bumping my gums too much, we should see if it'll even move under its own power. Sounds pretty good. Needs a muffler. Definitely needs a seat. Yeah. Yeah. That's the reward right there. It's a lot of work getting these old trucks and dragging them all over the countryside, loading them up, unloading them. But when you see those headlights come on and you hear it running under its own power, and know that this is a truck that's been working its tail off for, 50, 60 years, it's a pretty good feeling. So Jeannie's been out back for the last couple hours while I've been working on this, working in the barn. We've been on. If it'll move under its own power, let's go back there and show her what we got. Kind of like this old truck. Oh, we do have a little smoke there, but a little bit, not too bad. That could just be old stuff burning off too. It's really not bad. Oh look, we got a tail light working. Awesome. Let's see what else works. Let's see if the clutch works. Let's see if the transmission works. Oh, let's see if the wipers work. These doors, you got to, on these old trucks, you got to make sure the handle's forward or they won't latch. Wiper switch is right here. Hey, look at there. The rubber doesn't look so good, but they work. Nothing wrong with that. Works, but it's very faint. All right, let's get this thing a shot, huh? Takes off. Oh, clutch feels good on it. Moving under its own power. Got a couple rattles. Oh, we have no brakes. Okay, we have an emergency brake. I guess I should have checked that. There's the brake pedal. Nobody home. Fortunately, the e-brake does work. Yeah, definitely want to check the brakes before you take off, but I don't really care right now. Kind of hard to drive this while filming. There we go. Yeah, as long as I know I got an emergency brake, I'm okay. Goes pretty good. Got a little bit of pep to it. Like I said, it does have a couple rattles. Boy drives pretty good. I'm going to check that brake again. Yep, e-brake works real good on it. A a lot of times with these, you know, the wheel cylinders are really old and they just have slow leaks in the cylinders. And I'd be willing to bet that if I take this back up to the shop and put some brake fluid in it, they'll pump up. Let's go see Jamie. Come on in.
You got him,
I've been sitting a while. Come on in.
Oh my gosh, I've been chicken farming. Don't film me.
I don't think you're going to get my truck dirty. I'm going to see if it's going to move under its own power. So I get ready to pull out, you know, do the little U-turn on the street. And watch my right foot. Can you see my right foot? So I get to the end of the driveway and I go like that.
Oh no! You did.
But fortunately, after I did that, immediately after I did that, I did this. Look, I did this.
You did not. You did not.
After I did that, and that didn't work, then I did this, and that worked. So,
Oh, you didn't have any brakes.
yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant you hit the brake instead of the gas on
No, I hit the
accident.
brake,
And
and
then
this
you-
happened.
Oh, and then you double dinged and pulled the emergency brake instead of the gas. Old Yeller, folks, on the road. When was the last time you've been driven?
He said 5 years.
Oh,
Sometimes that can be 10.
look at his little wipers go.
Yeah, got another runner on the farm.
That's that Ricky face.
He drives pretty good.
Plastic truck rescue.
Plastic truck rescue. Rescuing another old truck.
Awesome.
Yeah. It was a good buy on this one. Alright, so I gotta figure out where I'm gonna park this piece. Gotta go park Old Yeller. He's a runner driver now.
He is, and he's happy. What is that?
That is an accessory switch that you could buy back in the day. Probably runs the heater now because although it has deluxe heater controls, it does not have the deluxe heater. So I'm gonna assume that that's a standard heater, and that switch right there. Watch out, because we could get a bath.
Woo! Oh, bath. Oh, hot water.
Now, when you turn on these old fans, sometimes weird stuff happens.
All right, well, I'm going to let you get him back to where he needs to
All right,
go.
we're gonna go find a spot for him.
Yeller.
Oh, Yeller. Runner driver. 55 GMC. Well, good day. Any day you can get one home, you get it running the same day you get it home. It's a good thing. Now, next weekend, I'm going after a truck that I call Gomer. He's a 59 GMC, low cab forward. A lot of people call him a snub nose. That's technically not correct, but he does look like a snub nose compared to my other trucks. And maybe we can get him running too. Hey, you never know. See, this is Old Yeller's twin right here. I call him Digger, but he's Old Yeller's twin. See? Except it's got a big back window in it. Classic Truck Rescue. Doing what we do. Also, I'm a little bit behind on my videos. I've got some trucks that are getting ready to come apart that aren't rebuildable. And I've got a couple trucks you haven't seen yet. Yeah. What's that hiding back there? Over on the other side of town. 55 GMC Carol. Yeah, they're pretty rare. Anyway, I'll get caught up on my videos, and we'll get some more trucks running, and we'll get some more trucks rescued. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Day 2 on my 55 GMC Old Yeller project. Got him running and driving pretty decently. There are a lot of things that I can still do to this truck and want to do to this truck, but I have to get to work on some other stuff. So, but I did think the brakes are very important. Today what I'd like to do is, I think the brakes are very important. I'm glad the e-brake works good, and that worked out well yesterday. But we need to have the brakes working on it, and I'd like to go ahead and just wash it inside and outside. Couple little things that are irritating me on it that should be fixed. One is the door, the driver's side door. I'm surprised it's not mangled right there, because a common thing on these trucks is for people to open those doors when the hinges are out of alignment and smash either the lip on the door or the lip on the fender, or both. But as you can see, when I try to open it up, it binds right here, and I can keep it from binding right there. If I grab the bottom of the door and pull it out, then it opens up normally. So that's caused by a problem with this lower hinge right here. You can see where it's wobbling and loose right there. So I'm going to pull that hinge pocket cover off of there and see what's going on behind there, so that the door or fender doesn't get damaged if somebody comes along and decides they need to open it. Also, on the brakes, real common thing on these old 55 through 9 Chevy and GMC trucks is for the brake pedal to go straight to the floor, because there's nothing in there. The master cylinder, most people know this, but some people might not, is located right in front of the driver's seat on the floor. There's usually a rubber plug in here. This one's missing, probably because someone's been adding brake fluid. But that's the master cylinder right in there. It's got a nut on the top of it. I've seen different size nuts on there. This one's 11/16. You just put your ratchet through the hole. I've already got that broke loose, and unscrew it. Pull this little guy off right here, and then there's the master cylinder, and I don't know if I'll be able to get it, but it's completely empty. So let's put a little fluid in there. It's full now. Won't be for long. Trust me, it'll suck that right up. But then you put your cap back on. Tighten that up. You don't have to crank these super tight. Just get her snug. Okay. You may have to do that several times. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. So now you'll pump the pedal and to circulate some of that fluid into the system. And I know there's guys saying, well, you got to open up the bleeder valves on the wheel cylinders and all that. No, you don't on this, because I'm just trying to get it to have brakes to work, to go around the farm. Yes, they do eventually need to be bled before you take it out on the road and risk your life and everyone's else. Now I felt a little bit of pressure there, feeling a little bit more, but it's still mushy, and it's probably eaten all of that fluid by now. So you do that, you pull the cap back off. So you pull your cap back off, and as you can see, as you may be able to see, I don't know, as you can see, it's empty again. We may have to go get more brake fluid. Not to the auto parts store, but to the garage. Yeah, so what I had there just filled it halfway up. I'll be back. So I rounded up some more brake fluid Build the master cylinder back up again. We'll see how it does. More resistance now, and you can actually hear it pumping. Ooh, hello. It's getting real solid. As you can see, it's I'd be hard pressed to, no pun intended, I'd be hard pressed to get that floor. Okay, so once you start getting a good pedal, brake pedal, it's a good idea, and I'm sure it needs a lot more fluid, but good idea to just look at your wheel cylinders real quick and see if you got brake fluid gushing out anywhere. Now that one's damp all around the drum, but I don't see any stream running out of there, so that could be the wheel cylinder that's actually leaking. But like I said, I don't see it streaming out, and if you have a serious problem with one of your wheel cylinders, it will stream out. But it's common for them to seep a little bit. We'll check this other rear one. Already looked up at the front, and it looked dry on the passenger side. See, this one's dry around the drum, where the other one was dark. And, you know, the dirt starts caking up on the old fluid. But there's the driver's side of the front. You can see that's dry on the bottom. I'd say that passenger side rear is where the brake fluid went. And then, you know, if a truck sits for 5 or 10 years, that's plenty of time for the brake fluid to seep out. But there's the passenger side of the front. It's dry. Yep. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and I'm going to fill the master cylinder one more time, and then pump it some more, and we'll see what kind of brakes we got. I actually just took a look at the nut on the, or bolt, whatever, the hexagon, supposed to be hexagon part of the cap for this master cylinder, and I see why I'm having a hard time getting my socket on there. So I got a bunch of frames out back. I'm gonna walk out back, since those frames have brake systems that aren't being used on them, and this one is being used. I'll replace it. But yeah, that's pretty hammered. That's from people sticking pairs of pliers and vice grips and stuff to get a hold of that down in the hole. Use a socket, and if it's already buggered up from somebody doing that, put your socket on there and tap it on with a hammer. Don't sledge-o-matic it, but tap it on there so you make sure you get a good bite. But we're going to replace that because we got parts. Okay, so I've got a pretty good brake pedal now. It's a little spongy the first time you step on it, but then it gets firmer each time. So, and you get one of these, been sitting for a lot of years, and you fill it up with fluid and first get a brake pedal, you still want to keep pulling that cap out of that hole down there, and making sure you're full, and you'll also get air pockets in the lines. I say we go see if it has rear brakes though, because that feels pretty good. It's actually quite a ways from the floor when I push on it. But yeah, you'll get air pockets in your lines, and they'll come out, and just keep filling it, and you might be surprised. They might wind up being real good brakes. But let's go give it a shot. Oh, and I did leave the battery connected all night long, and it wasn't dead when I got up, which is a good sign. Means we don't have a drain in the electric circuit. How brakes? Oh, guess it would help if I took the e-brake off. See if the other brakes work. Yeah, she's stopping good. I like that. That brakes are a bonus. I'm gonna set the camera down while I turn her. Oh yeah, it's stopping good. I just barely touched the brakes and it can stop. They're sticking just a little bit, I noticed. Had a little trouble taking off in first gear because one of the rear brakes is dragging just a bit. But if you roll it around out, don't take it out on the road like that, but if you roll it around on your whatever back road you got, all that stuff starts working its way loose. And I've noticed the truck's running better. They just need to be awakened real slow. Yeah, this thing runs real good. Stops real good. Well, I'm going to take this thing back over by the hot rod barn and get it all cleaned up. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to go get the pressure washer because this thing has sat for a while. It doesn't look all that dirty till you get up close. It's actually filthy. Got moss growing around the edges of the chrome trim and around the back window. There's also moss growing on the inside top of the dash. So I'm gonna do like an old buddy of mine named Jeff taught me how to do and pressure wash the interior. It works. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and fix that door before somebody comes along and messes it up. So yeah, that's a good thing to show people. And I realize that most of the stuff that I'm showing is just basics, you know, that most guys know. But there are some guys that don't know just the basics and might want to know how to keep from destroying their fender and door and stuff like that. I learn about these trucks every day, and I like it when the old guys share information with me. And so I thought I'd return the favor. And like I said, I know most of it's basic stuff, but some guy might want to go get an old truck and not know anything about him and want to see what he needs to do to get it running and driving and fix a little irritating stuff like this. This is one of the first things I'm going to fix. I'm not going to replace the whole seat because it's not time for a brand new seat, but I am going to replace this seat back that's all messed up, and it's real easy to do. There's just one shoulder bolt on each side that you pull off, and then the whole back comes off, and then I'll just put a better back on because this can be painful, as I've learned a few times, and I bet it can be more painful if I don't hurry up and replace it. So I'll do that. I'll fix this door right here. We got good brakes, runs and drives good, and give you a shot of what it looks like before. See, it's just got crud up underneath everything, and needs a real good bath. Because I do have work I got to do, but it'd be nice to have this all cleaned up, running and driving good, and the major things fixed on it. It's actually a really solid truck. The most common spot for rust, everyone will say cab corners, but I say driver's side door bottom, because you can't find a good driver's side door on these. There you go. Now you can see it. This has rust on it, but no rot. It's not coming through, and it still has the little rubber plugs that they put in the bottoms of the doors so that the water would be held in there, and then your door would rust out. I don't know. Just saying. I did see one other thing I need to fix before I go into cleanup mode. This is interesting. This is a rack for one of the mud flaps. See, it has a mud flap on one side, but not on the driver's side. And it's just flopping around while I'm driving it. And I see where somebody attempted to repair it before, but what I don't understand is why they went through all the trouble of doing that when all they had to do was get some wood screws and screw it back to where it goes on both sides. So we'll do that. I gotta be honest with you, the more I look at this truck, the more I like it. Pulling those shoulder bolts out so that I can replace the seat top, the back part of the seat. Bottom's okay for now. It's missing the batting, but the springs are in good shape. Anyway, so you just remove these 2 shoulder bolts right here, one on each side. And the reason I like to start more of them look at it is normally these are a corroded mess. And often they snap off, even if you do soak them with lube and everything before you try to pull them out. But those guys are pretty clean and not binded up. So you pull one bolt out on each side, hold the seat forward, and just push it up. And well, if you're holding the camera in one hand, you just push it up and go like that. Anyway, I also thought it'd be easier to clean it out in here with that seat back on. So basically, I am just going to, well, I better sweep it first. I'll sweep it out, and then I'll be back. I did notice this thing had one of the original California black plates on it that was kind of beat up, and it didn't have one on the back. I was a little bummed out about that. But it's just cutting this flap off of this old seat cover. I found a new seat back to put on there that's in real nice shape, and that bottom's okay for just putting around the farm. But I was cutting this flap off, and I found this. This is the rear plate, and like I said, the guy said that it hadn't been running for at least 5 years that he knew of. And sometimes these guys, their memory gets a little foggy on when's the last time that thing was actually going down the road. But anyway, kind of cool to have that. I'll keep that around with this truck. Anyway, got this flap off that I didn't need. And so I'm going to clean up what I got of the interior. I took the headliner out because it was sagging. I'm going to scrape that stuff right there off, just so we don't have any decay going on that doesn't need to be. Get the tank cleaned up, the floor, rockers, and then I'll put that seat back in and wash the outside. But yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, so I did find a good seat back to use in here. The bottom's still kind of rough, but I've sat on worse. Cleaned the whole inside, took all the headliner and old glue and stuff out. Really happy with the way the gauges came out. Floor's real solid on this truck. I was happy to see that. I'm kind of letting it air dry a little bit. Now I did fix the glove box lock. This truck's in a lot better shape than I thought it was. Cleaned up real nice on the outside also. Amazing what happens when you get rid of the moss and the mold. Good looking truck. Missing a couple grill items, like I said, I've got those. The doors are real solid. Anyway, I was putting the seat back in. I just wanted to show you a little. Sometimes it's hard to find that hole where the shoulder bolt goes in there because you got old material that's been put on over the original material and everything. But also important is to get this washer in between the seat back arm and the seat bottom, and you can see it in position there. I'll just stab it, but I used a screwdriver to get it in the area. Yeah, so I used the screwdriver to get the hole lined up, get that shoulder in there, then you tighten it up. And you don't want to cinch these down super tight. Snug's good. They're old, they're shoulder bolts, and you don't want to break one. But now our seat flips forward and back. Cleaned all back here around the gas tank and everything, since it is a good gas tank. Looks a lot better inside. I'm sure my back will appreciate that a lot. And that's all the time I really have for this one today. We'll get a shot at it going down the road. We'll show it to Annabella, her first truck. I have a couple other things to do to it, but for now it's running, driving, clean. And also, this truck originally, before I got it from Bob, it used to be a Mary truck, and it had a tank, a big huge tank on the back of it for hauling milk and a pump. And when Bob got it, he used the tank for hauling diesel fuel around. So this deck got tons and tons and years of oil spilled on it. And I started pressure washing it. Look there. The wood's just really cool on it. Some of it's a little rough, but I think that if I keep pressure washing the whole thing and then oil it up real good, I could get some of my barnwood and make some stake sides for it and just be a good utility truck. One thing I've learned about flatbeds, I never used to like them, but I got another one over here. That's Old McDonald. He runs and drives. He won't be getting taken apart. A guy had him listed as parts. He was parting him out, and I bought all the parts and got him running and driving, which means he doesn't come apart. But flatbed trucks make awesome portable workbenches. You can just take them wherever you want, and you got a workbench for sawing wood on or throwing all your tools on, whatever. They're pretty handy like that. Anyway, we'll get a shot of this going down the road, and then I got to get back to work. When I was cleaning out underneath the seat before I pressure washed the interior on Old Yeller, I found some goodies. There's always goodies under the seats, but here's both of the visors, and that's kind of cool because the passenger visor actually has a different mount and was an accessory. You had to order an extra passenger side visor, and those will work fine for that truck for now. And like I said, I found the original black plate, California black plate for it, with the 1981 last registration. I also found a pretty heavy duty cable with a lock and stuff under it. This stuff comes in handy when you're working on trucks. Anyway, I'm gonna pull this guy around front. We'll show it to Jamie and Annabella, and then I'm back to work.
Hi, baby. Hi, baby.
Hi. Annabella,
What are you doing?
come on. I'm taking a break.
From what?
Annabella,
From what?
I'm working on Old Yeller.
Old Yeller. Oh, you mean that truck we got yesterday?
That beautiful truck that we got yesterday that runs and drives perfect and it has good brakes.
And what else? Oh, it's got brakes now.
It does.
That's that little bleach blonde moment I had yesterday.
Why don't you go take a look at it?
I know, you've been outside busy.
You can open the passenger door and take a look. Look at his gauges and stuff in his dash.
What?
Come a long ways. You may also want to take a look at that barnwood in it.
On his bed? Oh, what? You, okay.
On his bed, yeah.
Well, I saw that yesterday. It's good wood. Oh, wow. That calls for some hand scraping and some oiling.
Yeah, I gotta finish pressure washing. It's kind of time consuming.
That pressure washer does good. It does what the wire wheel does. You guys saw this thing yesterday after he just plucked it out of the weeds. But he's been out pressure washing it today. Let's see what he did on him. Oh my heck. That is like a whole different truck. Look at that. It's so amazing. These things clean up pretty good. Oh, oh, look at that. He did a good job. He looks awesome. I want to go take him for a spin. I need to get a cushion for my booty. Ow. It's amazing what a little soap and water can do, huh? Look at you. These people need to see this wood. Because this wood is really awesome.
Jamie's got a thing for old wood. She makes stuff out of it.
But look at it. You just pressure washed it and look at the grains and the age in it. If it just oil
I
it
know,
up.
I like it. It's staying. I gotta finish pressure washing it though, and yeah, like you said, we'll just oil it up. And then I was thinking some nice steak sides for it. What?
We could totally be rednecks. Set up the swimming pool, right? The blow-up pool.
Oh, the hot tub?
The deck for the pool.
Should we be telling people that we have an inflatable hot tub? Maybe we're already redneck.
Inflatable.
Cool truck. Good enough for now? What?
Woody is mad.
Woody's mad?
Yep.
Well, I'm mad at Woody. Every time I go near him, he makes me work.
Woody, don't be mad. You.
When he runs, he's all cranky. He spits all over the place and
Crotchety old
smokes at. He tooting and drooling is what he's doing.
He's tooting. Kill him with kindness. That's
Kill him
the
with
thing.
kindness. I threw all the kindness at him he's got coming.
When
Someone
you're
else
his
needs to
age-
take it from here. I'm not married to that truck. I'm telling you right now. I did
Wait,
not
when
bond
you're
with
his age,
Woody.
When you're his age. How old is Woody?
He's older than me, honey.
Oh, well, when you're his age and you've been
I'm never going to be his
been
age.
through, you're allowed to be cranky, crotchety, drooly, and
Yeah, well, nobody
does he
stole
do?
his puppy. Oh, what?
drooly and
Tooting and drooling.
tooting and drooling. Tooting and drooling.
Well, he pukes oil out as fast as you can, not as fast as you can put it in, but you do need to be mindful of his oil level. And he gets all hot and crotchety. Ugh.
And he deserves to be pulled up some.
Well, then, you know what? I'll do that as soon as you wash him. You talk about how I neglect that truck so much, you know what? It's a lot of work cleaning these things up, making them look all pretty like Old Yeller. So you get Woody clean. No, you get Woody cleaned up, and I'll put him on the front row.
Can I
I'll make
just
him a
ask one
front.
question?
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
I'll put him on the front row
Can I ask
if
one
you clean him up, because I know he will look good. What?
How come when we got him, since he was so perfect then, how come you didn't clean him up?
Because I was mad at him when we got home, and and then I got mad at him when I tried to move him over here from our other location. Remember how he threw his little temper tantrum halfway over here? I'm just glad he's here. That's all. Just sit there and shush. You're on timeout.
The carry-all right now totally looks like he just came from the eye doctor and had his eyes dilated. I can't see! No,
He needs to be cleaned up too. They all need to be cleaned up. Look how good old Yeller looks with just a few hours of my time. He's a pretty boy.
The love boat didn't change any.
The love boat.
He still looks the same.
He's on restriction. We see you back there, and we know you're looking at us too. All right, Classic Truck Rescue. What do we say, Jamie?
Well, peace. Front here, under the hood of Old Yeller, he's got something really cool. Now, check that out. His oil dipstick is a knife. There it is. Look at that. Out here today. Look at there's Wheezy. Isn't he cool? That thing helped build the Bonneville Dam in Oregon.
Classic Truck Rescue. Hope you enjoyed the Old Yeller video. It's Saturday again, a week after we went and got Old Yeller. He's all cleaned up, running, driving, actually working around the farm already. I think it's going to stay dry. And as I said, we're going to get a truck I call Gomer today. So look for that in the next video. Peace out.